Hello everyone, this is your captain speaking. Welcome back to my playthrough of Belladonna. Last time we spent way too much time trying to get through that basement door. Hopefully this time will be a little bit more productive. So, what do you say we jump back into this with, let's see, let's do this journal page first
More
to
letters.
get that out of the way.
Has he figured it out yet?
I see now that my suspicions have been well grounded, albeit aimed in the wrong direction. Belladonna is not seeing another man, she is seeing a woman. I'm convinced that it must be that maid Claire, or whatever her name might be. She and Belladonna are up to something, I'm sure of it. And to think of all the hours I'm stuck down here, caught up in my dreadful world, leaving them free to roam and left to their own devices upstairs. Of course they have found each other, only living things in the whole castle besides me and my week-long rabbits. They have it all figured out. When I come up at night, they act all innocent, keeping their mutual secret from me as a playful game. But as soon as I descend into the library, they are in each other's arms again. But what can I do? The progression of events are beyond my control, just like my work. I slave away in my ghoulish endeavor, making progress every hour but never getting anywhere, and simultaneously Belladonna is slipping away from me further and further every night, and yet nothing ever changes. Should I confront her? Or should I confront them? Storm up there, hoping to catch the two in the act? Take back the life that was mine? The wife that was mine? No! I have no reason for my silly suspicions, no evidence whatsoever, merely a thought stuck in my brain refusing to leave. So I remain passive as always, and each new day is one more where I am unable to make an action, unable to change my wretched situation. So it sounds like he's growing just slightly paranoid.
A couple of cogwheels on the floor. They must have fallen off the mechanism when the door slammed shut. I wonder if I can put them back.
Maid's not doing a very good job.
This is the nail from which I skillfully lifted the basement key.
Yeah, the maid's not doing a very good job if all these cogs are laying around everywhere, I'm just saying.
There are some minuscule inscriptions on the wall here.
Okay, I believe I know what they mean. We'll put that there. This one we'll put here. This one we'll put here. Okay. That was surprisingly easy. Well, this place is ominous. Ooh, journal page.
The doctor is losing it. He's just scribbling down nonsense by now. What will he do if he ever acts on his wild suspicions?
It is clear to me what I must do. I am now convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that my wife is unfaithful. They still hide it very well, her and that housemaid, but my logical mind tells me there is no other explanation. For countless hours I have pondered this situation, and the more I think about it, the more certain I become that my judgment is correct. These countless hours are hours I could have spent thinking about my work. It is clear to me that I will never be able to fully concentrate on the puzzles at hand as long as my thoughts keep creeping back to my wife and her new lover. This is the very reason that my research is progressing at such an agonizingly slow pace. English is hard. So it is clear to me that what I must do. Belladonna herself is the person who I want back in my life, so I cannot punish her. That leaves her lover, the young maid. She is unimportant, and it is she that must go. I could fire her and throw her out of the household, but I fear this would not resolve anything. The two of them would still know of each other, and they could write secret, forbidden love letters, or meet up at secluded rendezvous. No, it is clear to me what I must do. I must get rid of the maid for good. A plan is already taking form in my head. In the greenhouse out back, I keep a lot of plants and herbs. One of the specimens I have is called Deadly Nightshade. Ha ha ha! An interesting plant with many medicinal uses, but its renown comes from the fact that its extract is lethal already at small doses. Preparing a powder from this poisonous plant, that's a tongue twister. Preparing a powder from this poisonous plant is not at all problematic. Getting the victim to ingest the dose will be a challenge, but I expect to have ample opportunity. They are not aware I know the truth and thus suspect nothing. The maid will fall ill, and within a short time she will die of seemingly natural causes. No one will be the wiser concerning the true circumstances of her demise. Deadly nightshade is merely the common name for this plant. Its scientific name is Atropa belladonna. The symmetry strikes me as beautiful. The poor girl strayed too close to the belladonna, and that would be the death of her. That's almost poetic. Alright, so I'm forming a couple of theories here. Are we Belladonna, or are we the housemaid? Candlestick.
A big and heavy candlestick. It looks like there used to be two of them. It's a mortar and a pestle too. They seem to belong here, but I'll remember where they are in case I need them another time.
That's good thinking. Let's look at this portrait.
The label says Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss. So this is the man who brings the dead back to life. He looks as though he would have been handsome once.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it right now. We aren't Belladonna. We are the housemaid.
It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is.
Well, yeah, you're dead. Okay, another journal page.
The story is so sad. I don't even know if I want to read this one.
My wife took the wayward maid's death harder than I had expected, further confirming my suspicions that they were indeed having a secretive love affair. She is passionate and irrational, raging all day and crying all night. Where a few months ago the cold shroud of silence lay over our house, now there is the wailing shrieks of bedlam. One should think that she would be used to dealing with the grief of lost loved ones by now. That's kind of harsh, dude. However, in all sincerity, I don't believe she was ever as affected by the death of our only son as I was. I also suspect that she might have guessed I had something to do with her lover's demise. If she wouldn't talk to me before, now she yells and barks at my every movement. I hardly leave my laboratory these days. I even have a small bed down there where I sleep a few hours when I'm not working. All the while she prowls around upstairs like a hungry tiger and attacks me over futile nitpicks as soon as I poke my head out. What happened to the love we shared when we were married? We were going to live together in her inherited castle. We were going to have children together. Now all I get is abuse and a cold bed in the basement. All I want is for things to go back to the way they were before all this. So I'm guessing that the wife and the housemaid were not having an affair. I'm guessing
I wonder where the other candlestick is gone.
I'm guessing he killed the housemaid for nothing.
A beautiful china bowl. It looks hand-painted.
And I'm also guessing that we are not Belladonna.
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss.
Oh.
This must be the ashes of Wolfram's son.
And I'm also guessing, again, that we are not Belladonna, we are the housemaid. Okay, let's go out here. Oh! The plot. It does thicken. Is this the scientist?
It's the body of Dr. von Trauerschloss. He's dead. And what's more, he's been murdered. But who could have done this? There must be some clues around.
Well, it was with a candlestick in the hallway, so I'm guessing Colonel Mustard had something to do with it.
The missing candlestick. And it seems to be the murder weapon. The body is still warm. He cannot have been dead for much longer than I have been alive. Did he have to die for me to live?
Maybe. Oh! Could we be the doctor?
Been cracked open by a heavy blow. He couldn't have seen the attack coming. He was dead before he knew what happened. So he trusted his assailant then? Was it me? I have no memories from my life before. Maybe it was I who killed him. But then, how was I brought back? There's something in his pocket.
Right there. Ooh, a key.
It's a small, delicate key. He kept it in the pocket closest to his heart. I wonder what it unlocks. Blood is flowing from a wound in his skull. I wonder if he was alive when he was killed, or if he was just a mechanical cadaver like me. There is no clockwork or artificial parts that I can see. But how can you tell? The body is still warm.
Okay.
These are the hands that give life. Talk about meeting your maker.
I know, right?
There's
All
a
right,
letter
journal
clutched in
page.
his hand. His final words? Or a clue left by the killer?
Over the course of a sleepless night, I have thought through my next course of action from every possible angle, for it is indeed time for me to take action again. Even with the troublesome maid out of the way, I see little chance of getting my old Belladonna back. If anything, she is worse now than ever before, but I have an idea, one that kept me awake all night. I have come very far in my research by now. I can now fairly predictably create living creatures that are stable enough to not spontaneously die again. This is consistent through many different species of animal. I have noticed something peculiar, though. The returned creations seem strangely vacant and sluggish. It's as if, although the body is brought back to life, the soul is forever lost. The creation is perfectly functional and responds to stimuli just as if it was truly alive, but the mysterious spark of will seems to be missing. I know no other way to describe the phenomena. This bothered me before, but now I cannot help to think that this might suit my needs. Isn't it precisely the strong will of my wife that is causing all my problems? There is no need to be poetic with flowers this time. I am in no short supply of lethal substances in the laboratory, and poison suits my needs well as it leaves no physical trauma on the body. I will still need to make incisions in the corpse to replace internal organs with clockwork parts, but stitching together surgical cuts is much simpler than trying to repair unhealed bodily damage. The integrity of her visage is a priority. To extinguish Belladonna's current life and give her a new one, to bring her body and mind back, minus soul and free will, a beautiful, obedient automaton, a mechanical doll with all the functionality of a woman, but who is responsive and does what she's told. That, my dear future reader, would truly be something. I think it is high time I tried my revivification process on a human subject. Okay, so that is just vague enough that my theory could still be correct. Alright. So I see there's another journal page here. Let's go ahead and get it.
This letter is signed Belladonna. I've been waiting to hear the other side of this story.
If you had asked me just a few years ago about my future, I could never have fathomed my life today would be as it is. So strange a path has the twist of fate set me upon that I wake every morning bewildered. And like a small child, I expect anything and everything to happen during each new day. The light my planned future snapped out of joint and took a whole new direction was the night when my son Lucas died. I married Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss in the spring, and we loved each other deeply back then. How young we were. He was an educated gentleman from the University of Ingolstadt, and I had first assumed we would get a flat in Vienna. Instead, he convinced me we should live in my family's old castle and accept our roles as old-fashioned nobility to the little village down the hill. We moved into the castle with a staff of 30 servants, beginning the task of breathing life and joy into the majestic halls. At this time, I expected to live out my life as a lady of the household, minding the servants and indeed raising children. Before long, our first son was born, and shortly after that, he once again departed. I was devastated, of course, but Lucas had been sickly from the first day, and even though my husband had blocked out the possibility from his mind, I was not entirely surprised when it happened. Nonetheless, it changed us. I believe Wolfram blames me for what happened, and he thinks it was somehow my fault. He retreated into his laboratory in the old dungeon and started doing unholy experiments and God knows what. Those were dark times. Instead of a household and a child to take care of, I now had no guest, practically no husband and no child. Everything I thought would occupy my time was gone, and all I could do was grieve in solitude. The castle staff left one by one until there were only a handful still there. My existence was meaningless, and I spent my days doing nothing. But I dealt with my grief in my own way, and in time the claws of melancholy began losing their grip on me. In so many ways, I have Clara to thank for that. The plot thickens. Okay, let's go check out this grandfather clock, shall we?
It's an old clock. Tick tock, tick tock.
That was kind of creepy. Really? You couldn't have just walked right? You gotta walk all the way around to get to the gargoyles.
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold, Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Yosef. In that order.
Well, alrighty then. She likes naming things. Okay. Let's go to the study. Let's see what's good about the study. Okay, bookshelves. Ooh,
That's
a raven.
lot of books. Imagine you had books filled with every possible combination of letters. I wonder how much room they would take. There's a finite amount of letters, but unless we acknowledge a maximum length of a word, there would still be an infinite number of combinations, and the library would have to be infinitely large.
Well, alright.
A stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What a cheerful decoration. Let's call them Annabelle and Dupin.
Quote the raven, nevermore. A globe.
Look, a perfect sphere. Let's see if I can get two parallel lines to intersect.
Okay, let's
The
look at the journal
doctor's
page.
handwriting. I know it well by now.
Months have passed, and I must indeed conclude that the procedure was a success. The new Belladonna is certainly calmer, friendlier, and more docile. She gladly keeps me company in the laboratory nowadays, and she is polite and pleasant in everything she does. One is tempted to describe her demeanor as lobotomized, but no. When I ask her questions, she will answer in a clear and articulated voice, and she is responsive to all kinds of stimuli. Verily, I have gotten all I could ask for. That troublesome maid is gone, and Belladonna is back with me, compliant as ever. Her behavior is exemplary. Our lives are returning to that idyllic past I had thought lost, in all aspects except one. No child giggles in the halls. But my research is proceeding rapidly, and the question presents itself. Who needs a womb to create life? I may have an unexpected observation, a side effect... I have made an unexpected observation, a side effect of the unliving condition. The household cat, a black beast and once Belladonna's loving pet, has gained a great mistrust for the latter's new form. A disquiet has fallen over the animal, and he will not go near the creation. Why is this, I wonder? Why the lack of trust, this sudden and ferocious hatred? Belladonna's appearance seems to me not much unlike what the cat before so fondly gravitated towards, but evidently the beast perceives a difference. As a species, the cat has popularly been associated with witchcraft and mysticism. Their eyes do indeed strike one as remarkable. It is perchance so that the feline oculus is capable of peering into a human soul and spirit, and so, when faced with the created Belladonna, is distressed by the lack thereof. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe we are Belladonna. Let's see what this typewriter has to offer.
I should sit down and write a story. But with all these journals and diary pages lying around, seems like I already may have.
Ooh, toys.
Look at all these old toys. Wind-up dolls, music boxes, and mechanical trains all around. I think this used to be a private hobby of the eccentric Dr. Wolfram's, before he got into the whole corpse business.
I'm guessing this is the wife.
Another portrait. It says her name is Franziska Canosa, an old relative, no doubt. But I wonder how she relates to the von Trauerschloss family.
A ladder. Oh,
I'm not
hello.
going near that horrible cat.
That startled
I'll have
me.
to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed.
Bash it with the candlestick.
Interesting, but no. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Y'all are gonna think I'm so cruel.
I'm not going near that horrible cat. I'll have to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed. That makes no sense.
It makes sense to me. I'm just a horrible person. Okay, so looks like we can't go any further that way. We gotta get rid of the cat somehow. Let's go back into the hallway. And that's gonna do it for this episode. I have run out of time for this episode. I'm enjoying Belladonna again. I like the mystery. I like unraveling the mystery one by one. There's so many theories I have in my head about who we are, who killed the doctor, everything that's going on. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough of Belladonna. Let me know down in the comments section if you're liking it. If you know of any other games you'd like to see me play, put that down in the comments section too. Do me a favor. Push all those buttons for me. Like, subscribe, leave a comment or two. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.